So our project is really coming together. In this section we're going to go over modals and tabs. And the modal, for example, we're going to use for our login and register links. When we click this, we want a modal to pop up with our either our login fields or our registration fields. A modal, if you don't know what that is basically just a nice looking clean pop-up. We can actually go and see an example. I'm at the JavaScript section at getbootstrap.com, and if we're at the modal examples, and we go down to live demo. If we click this, we get this nice pop-up with some text. And modals can have a header, which is this area. This is the body, and then they can have a footer. So we're going to add our form. We're going to have a login and registration form pop up. These aren't going to be functional forms because this is all front-end stuff, but obviously if you wanted to, you could use this template and this code and integrate it into some server-side programming like PHP. So what I'm going to do, and you can see how this works, it's pretty easy. All the JavaScript is already there in our Bootstrap files, so all we need to do is basically add the HTML. So we have our button, pretty simple, just a standard button with the Bootstrap classes, and we're going to have an attribute called data toggle, which is going to be equal to modal, and then we're going to have a data target attribute that's going to be equal to whatever ID we want. For instance, they're using my modal, which is this div here. This has an ID of my modal, so all this content will show up in that pop-up. Obviously ours will be different. We'll have a form instead of just this text. Alright, so let's start with our links. All we need is the data toggle attribute and the data target. It doesn't have to be on a button, it can be on any element. We're going to put it on our li tags. Alright, so if we go to, and we're going to have to do this on every page, so we'll start with the index and then we'll just copy it to the other pages. So I'm going to go down to my login and register links, which are right here, and in my li tag after the class I'm going to add those attributes. And instead of going to my modal, this is going to go to login modal, and we can add them here as well to our register, and this will go to reg modal. Okay, so that's all we have to do to these two elements. All we have to do now is create the code that we want to show up when we click on the links. So we want to put that, let's put that after the nav tag. Okay, so let's go to the Bootstrap site and we want to grab all of this, copy that, and I'm going to paste it here. Alright, so let's make this say login modal, and instead of my modal it's going to be login. We want to put that wherever we see my, so right here, right here in the ID, it's going to be login modal label. Alright, now let's just, we don't have our form in there, but let's just make sure that this works. So if we reload and click login, we have a nice pop-up. We have the header, the body, and the footer. So let's go ahead and edit the header first. Instead of model title, we want login form. The body is where we'll have the form, and I want the sign-in button to be in the footer. So let's get rid of that button, and let's grab a form. If we go on the Bootstrap website, click on CSS and then forms, we have an example of a login model right here. So I'm just going to grab this, copy that. We're going to put that in the body. And like I said, this isn't going to be functional. It's just the front end stuff. Let me see, form group. So the button I'm going to take this form group, which holds the submit button. I'm going to cut it and put it in the footer, overwriting this button. A little formatting, save. Now if we reload and click login, you can see we have a nice clean login form. We have the button in the footer, the fields in the body, and we get this heading. So let's do the same thing for the register modal. I'm sorry. Let's see. So let's go to. Actually, you know what? Let's just copy the login. So from here to here, I'm going to copy all of that, a couple spaces, and then paste. So now we want to change some things here. We want to change this to register modal, and we're going to put in reg. Okay, we also want to put that here. Here. Okay, so let's change the heading. Just change that to register. So we'll just add a couple form fields here. Let's copy this. And it's going to be a registration form, so we'll have a name. I'm not worried about the IDs and stuff. For the placeholder, let's just say enter name. Then we have the email, which is good, password. Let's copy the password, and we'll make this a confirm password field. And of course, we don't want the checkbox on a registration form. Oh. Alright, so that looks good. And then let's change the button text from sign in to sign up. That makes sense. Save it. Reload. And we get our nice registration form. So you can see how easy it is to do. I mean, we don't need to do any kind of JavaScript, which normally this would take lines and lines of JavaScript to have this kind of functionality. So you can see why Bootstrap really gives you an advantage. Now what we need to do is copy this onto all of our pages because we want those links to work everywhere. So all we need to do is copy. We have a lot to copy, but we want to go from the opening li tag for the login link all the way down so we have both modals all the way here. Alright, so let's copy, and where we're going to paste that is under the what is this? That's the search form. Alright, so let's open up About, and let's see. So login, we're going to go from here to right above the container. So let's paste that in. And let's make sure it's working on the About page. It's good. Alright. So now we'll do the blog page. So we want to go from the login link to the top of the container. Okay, contact. And innovate. Alright, so now we have our login and registration working on all pages. Alright, so that's good. So next what I want to do is show you the tab widget that comes with Bootstrap that you can use. So on the JavaScript page, if you click on tab, you have an example right here. Okay, just click on a link and it fades in whatever content you want. So let's go to, we're going to put this in the About page. So I'm going to close everything but that. So let's go down. It's going to go below the content. It's going to go right here where it says tabs here. So let's grab the markup. We'll paste that right in here. So I want to change a few things, just cosmetic. I don't want these titles. We'll have what we do, because this is the About page. So next we'll have meet the team. And we'll say costs. And I don't know, terms. Okay, so that's the links. Now here is where we want to put the content. We'll keep the same IDs. You can see this ID of home needs to match this ID of home, and we just want to paste in our content. So I'm just gonna grab some content real quick. Let's see. Okay, so this is just dummy text. We save this. We don't even need to add any kind of JavaScript or anything. If we go to the About page, we have this little area. We can click on the tabs. I don't like how the text is meshed up against the line here, so let's just add a little bit of padding. Let's get this class name. Alright, so div tab pane. We want to add a padding to the top. So let's go to our CSS file. So tab pane, say padding, top 10 pixels. Okay, so that looks better. So that's it. I mean, again, you can see how easy this is using Bootstrap. This would take lines of JavaScript if you were to do this, you know, without any kind of framework. So that's it, modals and tabs. Next we'll get into the carousel, which is like a slider showcase area, as well as the collapse widget, which is basically an accordion menu type of thing.